Hello, I'm Stoney Smith of Paragon 6. Welcome to Trigger Time TV, brought to you by Raven Concealment Systems. In this episode, Jim Gilliland of Shadow 6 talks with Tooter Meredith about building a custom rifle.
Hey folks, Jim Gilliland of Shadow 6 here. And on this episode, we're going to talk Custom Guns 101. Now I wanted to bring you a real custom builder, because that's all we talked about is all these high-end expensive rifles or whatever, but I want to bring in a builder to talk to you as an individual about how we get to where we get. And the guy I'm talking about is Tooter Meredith from Meredith Rifles out of North Alabama. So Tooter, we got all kind of rifles up here, and these are all your work. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about what goes into building a Meredith custom rifle.
Well, first thing, it starts with good parts. You want to start with quality parts.
Sure.
If you're going to go through the process of making a custom rifle, don't cut corners.
Absolutely.
It just makes the build in the end that much more better. So I like to start with a good barrel. That's number one. Mm-hmm. A good barrel. These are Bartline barrels. Love their barrels. I like to use the Stiller Action. And then most of these are Manor stocks. Actually, all these are Manor stocks. So those are some of the parts I like to use.
So I can imagine one of the things you get a lot is a guy will just call you up and be like, hey, Tooter, I want you to build me a custom gun. Mm-hmm. Well, go through the process of what you need from a customer, from your standpoint and from the customer standpoint, what both of you need to bring to the table to have that thought jump process.
Sure. Well, the biggest thing that you need to know is if you're going to be using it for hunting, mm-hmm. for a tactical match. Maybe they even want to shoot a bench rest match.
Sure.
Sometimes you do. So those are things you need to know, because barrel length makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Barrel twist rates make a difference. And then caliber. Most people don't know what caliber they really, really want. They want to do a 308, but they're talking they might want to shoot 1,000 yards plus. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just not enough gas in a 308.
Sure, absolutely. Now, let's go over a few things. Now, this is a 300 Win Mag that you built for me. Mm-hmm. Just got it, and I'm very, very impressed with it.
Thanks.
Talk over some of the things that we talked about while building this specific rifle.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing that you talked about was wanting to have a tactical type rifle that you could hunt with.
Sure.
And so we tried to make it as lightweight as possible. So this is a Manor's T2 90% carbon fiber stock, so it's a real lightweight stock. And we went with a Remington Varmint Contour Bartline barrel. Still heavy caliber, to shoot. You can kill elk with it. You can shoot 1,000 yards, all those things. Detachable mag, so that it's easy to load if you need to, put your magazine in your pocket.
Sure, absolutely. Now, and speaking to that is, I specifically wanted a rifle that if I wanted to shoot a match with, I could, as some of the rifles matches are out west. But I've primarily wanted to do some hunting with it. Mm-hmm. Now I like shooting really accurate, so my guns need to be really accurate for what I want to do. But what you've done with this profile barrel and the stock you've got, this gun tips in at about, I want to say probably 8.5 pounds.
Right.
The scope ready. That's without the scope. Mm-hmm. Which will translate to, once you put your optic on it, you've got a gun that easily weighs less than 10 pounds, and it is amazingly accurate.
Sure.
So.
Well, those things coupled, together is things I need to know when a customer calls.
Sure.
So that we don't put, this barrel right here is really not for toting. You don't want to tote that over.
I would not want to carry that anywhere.
About 10 yards, you want to put it down. So those are things that are nice to know before you start, so the customer's happy in the end.
Sure. So, what I look for in a builder is a craftsman. And one of the things that some people don't know is that you actually are one of the top 3 custom guitar builders in the world. Now, to take that kind of craftsmanship from that type of a fine instrument and put it into the quality of a rifle, you can imagine You know, it's something that I'd appreciate as a customer knowing.
Sure.
So, you know, folks, when you're starting to look for a gun, when you're starting to think about getting into the custom side of it, you really want to start finding out who your builder is. Now, there's a lot of builders out there. When you're selecting it, find out what their lead times are. Find out what their pricing are. Find out what they will do for you. And then when you come to them, know your stuff. Do your research ahead of time. Don't tell him necessarily what you want, but have that conversation. I was thinking about this. What do you think? Because they probably going to have something that you need to know. Take this to the range next time and get on the phone and talk. And until next time, hunt the wolf and protect the flock.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Raven Concealment System, Troy Industries, Troy Defense, Legion Firearms, U.S. Optics, Meredith Rifles, Dark Angel, Keltec, Yeti, Crossbone, Wiley X, Vertex, Black Rain Ordnance, Huber Concepts, Tax Strike, and WW Guns.